We'll start in. We'll slowly start. So if you don't mind taking a seat, so sorry. All right. All right. Hello, everyone. Hello. Those that are, over at the back, there's plenty of seats here. Some seating space over there on my right too. So please feel free to take a seat. And then there's also some additional chairs over there if you want to grab some chairs too. All right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Austin Startup Meetup. And it's great to see you all. You all are tired working all day. So I hope we have a good session for you today. And hope you all enjoy the session today. I'm Suman Poluri. I host the Austin Startup Meetup and been hosting this for the last 7 years. And it's my honor and pleasure to continue hosting these events and giving or having the opportunity to see a lot of the emerging startups, incredible founders and great companies that are building their products and apps and software and even hardware in Austin. I'll just start with a few words about what we do here. I won't take much time, and then we'll go to the main session super quick. I'll run through a few slides with some resources for those that are new to Austin, new to the startup world, and we'll kick it off from there. So just a quick show of hands. Who's new to Austin? There's a few. Okay. Thank you. And who's here for the first time in Capital Factory? All right. So there's a few again. Okay. Awesome. So welcome to Austin and welcome to Capital Factory. And so the purpose of this event or the events that we do is mostly to have a platform where we can have the talent and entrepreneurial folks in the community come together, share their and what they're working on, what they're building, and what's working for them, what's not working for them, learning from each other's successes and also failures, and having those firsthand in-person conversations so we can all learn from each other and build great products and great companies here. Ultimately, all of us want to see great companies come out of Austin, and we just try to facilitate those conversations and also anything that we can do to help the community. And over the last 7 years, we've done a lot of sessions, a variety of sessions. We typically don't do a lot of pitch sessions, but then sometimes we do, when people want to talk about a lot of their products and things like that, we do some pitch sessions. The one big event, usually what we do, related to showcasing startups is prior to South by Southwest. I don't know if any of you have attended the previous session where we did the pre-South by Southwest showcase. A great event, and again, I was really happy to host a lot of incredible startups that day. And beyond that, typically we have a lot of speaking sessions for topics that are of interest to startups, whether it be venture capital, whether it's marketing, sales, any other topics of interest to the startups. We also once in a while have maybe office hours kind of like sessions with people that can help startups in the community. And if any of you want certain topics or certain sessions to be organized, do reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to facilitate sessions like that. And a quick word about Capital Factory. We are thankful to Capital Factory for giving us this space the past 7 years to continue hosting the events. And for those that are new to Capital Factory offers a lot of things. Co-working space, there's a mentorship program, a membership that you can take, and also they invest in startups as well. You can learn more about Capital Factory at their website, capitalfactory.com, and also you can talk to Emily at the front desk, and she can also share more information about Capital Factory or get you in touch with the people that you need to talk to at Capital Factory for any of your needs. And they do also send out a weekly newsletter. You can also sign up to the newsletter to be aware of the things going on in the community. And Founder Dash is another sponsor. They're launching pretty soon, and do check out their website for updates. The agenda is usually a little fluid. I mean, we start the first half an hour by having some networking, and then just an intro of various things, and then we go to the main session, and then we again go to networking and then disperse. But one thing to remember is 8 o'clock, the doors close, so please be aware of that, and then please start moving out of the room close around 7:50 or so. So we'll start winding up at that time, okay? For those that are looking to apply for accelerator programs or incubators and things like that, there's a few things, deadlines and application things that are opening up. So April 12th, so there's a Round Rock Startup Day event happening in May, and they're also partnering with builders and backers and the Round Rock Chamber of Commerce, and doing a buildership workshop for which the application deadline is the 12th. And then CTAN, which is the Central Texas Angel Network, they do 6 funding cycles every year, and the third funding cycle deadline is 22nd, and they also have office hours. I think they have an office hour with their team the first week of April, but you can just check their website and their calendar to know more about when that's happening. So you can talk to them before even applying for their funding cycle. And then May 2nd is the event, the Round Rock Startup Day. As I said, the Chamber of Commerce in Round Rock is trying to host a lot of pitch events and all those other things too. I think their pitch application deadline has passed, so unfortunately that passed in, I think, March sometime, and so you cannot apply for that anymore, but you can still participate in a lot of other events around that day. And Techstars, they have a lot of accelerator programs around the country and around the world, but most of them have aligned towards May 22nd being the application deadline for the 2024 summer program. So that's the Techstars Anywhere Remote Accelerator, and also a physical health accelerator in Fort Worth. So, and there's also a few others that do not have any specific deadlines. I mean, they have a rolling schedule. So there's 2 that are affiliated with the UT Austin ecosystem, the JBTVL, and the Austin Technology Incubator ATI. So those 2 are incredibly helpful. They don't take equity in your company, so it's always good to try them out. I mean, if it suits your company, and you can take a look at them. Bunker Labs is mostly focused on veterans or startups that are run by former armed forces folks. So you can look at them if you have that experience, or maybe someone in your network, you can recommend them too. With that said, just a few resources I'll go through quickly. Most of you probably have heard about some of these things. So F6S and AngelList is where you can find information about startups around the country and around the world. There's plenty of local accelerator programs, as I said, and this is a very small list of those that I could quickly put together. Mass Challenge, their application deadline has already completed in March, but they typically have the program in the early part of the year, and it's an equity-free program. They don't take any equity in your company, and then all the startups that are part of the program, work towards like a prize money of $500,000, and they pick, I think, 8 startups at the end of the program. So like a very typical accelerator program, but then there's a lot of fun and a lot of companies that go through this program, so you can have like a lot of networking that you can do. They also partner with a lot of industry folks, and so you have a chance to also talk to investors and other companies in the marketplace that you may want to partner with. Founder Institute, they do, I would say, take companies from a very early stage, like an incubator slash accelerator program. ATI, which we talked about, Bunker Labs, we talked about Divink. I think Divink also has a program. I don't know if they have a program this year or not, but you can check out their website. Medical Innovation Labs for Health Tech. Tarmac, Texas may not be doing any program this year. SKU for any companies that are in the retail space or CPG space. SKU is probably the best accelerator program for y'all. They have a chapter in New York and one in Austin. JBTVL, again, part of the UT Austin ecosystem. And then Sputnik, a pretty well-known accelerator program in town. Techstars, very well-known around the world. International Accelerator focuses more on founding teams that have cross-border teams. Especially, they'll help with a lot of immigration, moving companies to the U.S. and setting up a U.S. venture and things like that. Oracle Startup, and then there's a few other enterprise startup initiatives like Oracle Startup. They're typically equity free. They don't take equity in your company, but then you get access to a lot of the enterprise ecosystem that these startup programs offer. Likewise, we also have a lot of angels and syndicates and VC firms in town or around town. There's Active Capital in San Antonio, Geekdom Fund, also in San Antonio. In town, we have like Live Oak Partners, Silverton, CTAN. Alamo Angels is again in San Antonio and a few more around Austin and within Texas. So we already talked about a few of the resources, but for people that are kind of like new to Austin, there's a few Facebook groups that you may be interested in. Austin Digital Jobs is a Facebook group for posting or looking for tech jobs in Austin. And then Austin Tech Volunteers is another Facebook group where you can post or look for tech volunteer opportunities in tech. There's other meetups in town, which are also focused on startups. I mean, TechMap co-founders, they do mostly pitch events, so that's a good event. That's a good meetup to go to. There's also another one called Fiesta, which does more networking events. That's a really good one to go to. So there's quite a few that we like, and we recommend people that are in the startup ecosystem to go to make most of what they have in the ecosystem. And there's a few others, Facebook groups. Austin Startups is a pretty big Facebook group where you have a lot of people in the community. So you can ask questions about things that matter to you. Startup School is a free program from Y Combinator, probably the most well-known accelerator program in the country and the world. They have a free program, online program called startupschool.org. I mean, you can go to startupschool.org and enroll your startup and probably go through a self-paced 10-week program, and then you can also get access to some of the YC folks through that. And again, for those that are new to the ecosystem and new to the Austin area, I would say go to the local meetups. There's plenty of meetups that focus on sales, business. There's also various tech meetups that you may be interested in, like iPhone meetups. So there's Android meetups. There's also other virtual reality meetups and so on, and even like for those in the sales and business world, they have like a lot of marketing related meetups and sales events as well. So I would say make the best use of all the local events and local meetups that happen around the town. Austin is, compared to all other ecosystems, Austin is a pretty smaller and tight-knit ecosystem. So you'll have a chance to make deeper connections and run into the same people over and over. So, and also you can meet investors and others pretty easily. All right, so with that said, I know a lot of people that are in this community typically work on their day jobs and maybe start working on their startups or side gigs and start from there. How many of you here have a startup or a project that you eventually want to make a startup out of? All right, so that's good. So I know a lot of you might be working solo or maybe as a 2-person or 3-person teams with your friends and working a day job and then trying to work on things like this on the evenings and weekends. And I know a lot of you may also need help on various things, whether it be testing of your product or marketing or sales or any other things that you may not have an expertise in. When you have such needs, I would say just reach out to us, and there's plenty of people in the community that have a wide variety of experience and background in various fields. So if you have anyone that you're particularly looking for, or if you have a need that you're looking for, let us know, and we'll try to broadcast that into the community. And if there's anyone that can reach out to you and help you with that. Likewise, if you are releasing a product and things like that, let us know, and I can shoot it out in the newsletter to the group, or maybe also share it with others. And likewise, other people in the community can do that as well. And if you're looking for any jobs and things like that, again, just reach out to us, and we'll try to help as much as we can. All right. And typically we meet the first Monday every month, same time, 6 to 8. And so if there's particular sessions or events that you want us to host, let us know what topics you're interested in, and we'll bring speakers, or we'll host events such as that. Okay. All right. So with that said, let's see. Time doesn't show over there properly, so let's see. It's 6:30. So what we'll do is we'll jump right into the main session today, and then after the main session, we'll have a Q&A and other things as part of the main session. But then beyond that, we'll take some time to go around the room to see what people are working on, what people are looking for, and things like that as well. So do stay, after the main session, because we'll still be doing a quick round of networking and things like that too. All right. So with that said, I'll invite Tim Hines to come and talk about today's session about Startup Marketing 101. All right, Tim.
AV, 1 second. Oh, all right. Let's make sure all this stuff works. Oh yeah, okay. Hey everybody, how's it going? Okay. I thought we're startup, we're founders, we're entrepreneurs. We should have more excitement and more passion and more drive than that. I said, how are we doing? Okay, that's a little better. That's a little better. Okay, so it's good to be here tonight with you guys. I'm excited to talk to you about startup marketing. Thanks so much for coming out here on a Monday to hear from me, and obviously from Sman, and to participate in this awesome community we have here in Austin. I know a lot of you guys might be just kind of getting your start, or you're working on things on the side while you have your day jobs, or maybe you're a little bit further along. So I'm going to try to make sure to include a little bit for everybody in this presentation when it comes to startup marketing, and where you can actually get going, things that you can work on. But here's a tip for you guys. AI isn't going to take care of it all for you. Dum, dum, dum. You still have to lift. You got to do a little bit with your marketing. I'm getting some nods, right? Yes, it's going to help things. It's going to speed things up, but you still need a creative mind and a good direction when it comes to your marketing in order to get things going. So today, Startup Marketing 101, maybe 102. Heck, maybe we'll get into 103. I don't know. We'll see how deep we go. It always depends on where you guys are at in the audience. But again, thank you so much for being here. So let's kick this off. Okay, so who am I? Why do I have this microphone? So I'm an author, speaker, and podcaster. I actually have my book over here. If you guys want to pick one up afterward, that would be really cool. It's called The Marketing Starter. I also do a lot of speaking and marketing. I do a lot of speaking at professional events, conferences. I've actually been twice globally, which is cool. So I'm a global speaker, which is really fun. But I love being up here on stage and presenting to great people like you. And I also have a podcast called The Marketing Starter Podcast. If you guys are interested in listening to that or hearing my voice more after tonight, please subscribe. I guess you can maybe wait till this is done to subscribe. So I'm obviously a marketing guru, consultant. I'm a fractional CMO. So I actually work with a lot of startup companies, mostly in B2B SaaS and service businesses, but I do advise a lot of startups on their marketing and taking next steps and the things that they can do to do a lot with a little, because that's what we're all striving to do here as startup founders. I've been doing marketing for 20 years, long time. And so I've also started 4 companies of my own. I'm actually working on another startup with my wife right now on top of my speaking and consulting business. So I have like 3 companies I'm working on at one time right now. So a little tired. What day is it? Is it Monday? Oh, God, shit. Why couldn't it? I couldn't already be Friday. So a few of the companies I started at the bottom there, I'll go across. Brightline Dental Sales Center, that's the one I'm working on right now. It's basically like a dental SDR call center for dental practices. No tech. Is that boring? It's boring, right? But boring businesses are good too. It's a no-tech, boring business. This one called Curb Ninja was one that I started in 2014. It's basically like a Waze of motorcycle parking. I'm actually an avid motorcyclist, and I always struggle to find good places to park my bike in cities around the country. And I launched that one actually in Chicago with a friend of mine. That's actually still live on the App Store. Haven't done much with it, but it was pretty cool. Market was just small, which we'll talk about as I get a little bit further into this. That's an important one to call out. And then I also had a company called BT Social, which is a social travel app and events company for business travelers. I was trying to bring business travelers together in various cities around the country. And then I launched this pitch training camp, which was basically we actually ran it on F6S. We recruited entrepreneurs and taught them how to perfect their pitch in various different forms, from doing the elevator all the way up to the 5-minute, all the way up to the raising money. And we had like this 6-week boot camp that we ran for them. And that was when I used to live in Chicago too. So done a lot of things, but the biggest vein that's kind of connected them all together and I felt has given me an edge is knowing a lot about the marketing piece. And so that's what I hope to share with you guys today. So, I'm hitting the wrong button. There we go. Okay, so the question I have for you guys, and if you guys get your phones out because we're going to do a poll, is what stage of business are you in? What stage is your startup in? And let me tab over to oh, yes, it's working. Okay, if you guys could just scan that Slido and answer there. So we have, ideation, that's not right. Ideation, I see. Spelling is not one of my things. Ideation, MVP, investment. Gosh, I messed up on a bunch of those. Product market fit, go to market, growth and revenue, so you're making money, or you're mature. Your business is already pretty well taken off. Okay, we got some coming in. MVP, growth, awesome. This is cool. See, you see how this works, man? This is awesome. You got to try this. It's free account, man. This is. Yeah. So I went in and installed it's an extension you can add to Google Slides. This is my first time using this, so it's actually working. It's better than just raising hands. We got real data. Cool. Oh, we got growth, investment. Some people can go to market already. MVP. Yeah, this is usually the most common one I feel like that we see. Okay. Feature bug. We can't see the mature. We can't see the ones below that. Okay, I'm sending a note to Slido. They got to fix it. Right? You can't see it. It's cut off. What the heck? Come on, Slido. Okay, so it looks like most of you guys are in MVP stage. That's great. But some are in growth, so already making money. That's awesome. Those are typically the ones that I work with in my fractional CMO work, so would love to talk to you guys too. Go to market especially. I help with a lot of go to market plans. MVP, great place to be. You guys already have a product and going to market. So really interesting to kind of see the mix of the group. I feel like last time I was here, most of the people I talked to were much earlier stage. So we got kind of a more mix today, which is really, really cool. So that's awesome that you guys are here. So yeah, check out Slido. Add it to your Google Slides. This was free. It's kind of neat. I'm just getting cut off at the bottom. That's not working, so I'll have to figure that out. But anyway, that's pretty cool. All right, so a little bit about marketing when you're moving into it as a startup. This is a great quote from Seth Godin. Does anyone know who Seth Godin is? Okay, cool. Yeah, woo, yeah, we love Seth. Seth's the man. Okay, so he's basically the less popular version, bald white dude who knows marketing, like me. No, just kidding. He's far more well-known than me, but great author. And this quote says, it's a waste of time to expend effort creating, prototyping, and testing something without finding a market for it first. So I'm curious of the people in the ideation phase, or even in the MVP phase. Did your gut tell you that this was a good idea? Did your mom say like, hey, you should do that? You should start this business, and then you just went out and did it? It's okay if you did. It's all right. You don't have to raise your hand. I'm not gonna call anybody out. But the important part of this, the fundamental piece of this, is you have to have a market. Someone who's gonna pay you money for that thing. We can all start a passion project. We can all start a nonprofit or a negative profit. Sometimes we just dump money into things. But we have to know if there's actually gonna be a market who's gonna pay for it. So I love this quote. So I got a couple tips for you guys before you actually get started with your marketing for your companies. So number one, you want to truly understand that problem that you're solving. I think we're very solution-oriented. A lot of us who are in tech, we're like, I've got this great idea for this tool, and it's going to do X, and here's all these great features, and it's so much better than this other thing. And we start kind of going down this path, and we forget the problem that we're actually solving for our customer at the end of the day, right? And it may be much more obscure than you think it is. And so you really got to nail that down. And that needs to be part of your pitch. So if whoever comes up here tonight, I hope that you will say, the problem I'm solving is X, and my company is blah, 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 blah. If I just hear you come up here and just say, like, my company is blah, 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 without talking about your problem, no book for you. Have a solid why statement as your North Star. You guys familiar with, oh gosh, why am I drawing a blank on his name now? This will start with Y. Thank you. Gosh, dang it. Yes, Simon Sinek. Thank you, man. Right here, my man. Simon Sinek. You guys know Simon Sinek? Okay, cool. And if you don't know him, you guys should look him up. He has a book called Start With Why. You should read it. You should get to know it. But understanding the reason why you exist, the purpose behind your business, the drive that brought you to creating this solution in the first place, you have to have a solid why statement as your North Star. You need to write it on the wall of the Capital Factory next to your desk or wherever you're working, and always remember why you started that business, because that ultimately will point back to the problem as well. The third thing is you want to take a look at the resources that you have at your disposal and the runway that you have, and do a little bit of crisscross math. You may have no resources, you may have no runway. I get it, right? So you don't have money to throw into a bunch of Google advertising campaigns, which marketing is so much more than that. But you have to take a look at, okay, what can I afford? How many hours out of my day can I actually devote to any sort of marketing that I could do? And marketing, by the way, is you guys being at a networking event like this and getting people to sign up for your app or whatever you're doing, or coming up here on stage. That's part of your marketing. You're taking time out of your day to evangelize your business, set up your brand, and do some of that work. So look at the resources that you have. Do you have a free, can you make a free Slido for your presentation, your next presentation? Yes, probably, right? There's a lot of free tools that you have. Maybe you have a person on your staff who's really skilled at social media or building presentations. What resources do you have? Write all that stuff down, and then look at how much time or money that you have and how long that's going to last you, that you can then start to think about, okay, well, what can I budget maybe if I need to spend any money on marketing? What budget can I actually apply? Whether even it can be tiny. It can be a tiny little marketing budget. Talking like $100 a month. It doesn't have to be $10,000 or anything crazy like that. But you look at that runway that you have and you crunch that together. And then you want to find the help that you need, and you want to get them ready. So if you're recruiting your sibling to help you do social media, if your mom who helped to advocate for you on the great business idea that you had when you were rolling that out, if she's going to also make sure to reshare everything that you post on LinkedIn, sure, get those people in place and get them ready for when you're going to activate the marketing that we're going to talk about starting in a minute. Now, get started. So once you've kind of gone through these motions, written this stuff down, kind of formulated a little plan, we can actually start to kick off some of these things. The number one thing that I feel like a lot of people will rush through is defining that target market. What does ICP mean? Anyone? Ideal customer persona. Yes. Awesome. Ideal customer persona, profile, sometimes known as your avatar. Some people say that. I hate that. I never like that one. ICP, ideal customer personas. This is great because if you're the only one that knows that, everybody's walking away with something tonight that they learned. This is great. ICP. So your ideal customer persona, and then there's also your buyer persona. Two different things. So your ideal customer persona is the company. Your buyer persona is the person, the actual person who's going to write you that check for your solution. So the way to think about it is who is experiencing that problem that your product solves. Remember what I said at the beginning? Always be problem-oriented in your head. Not in a negative way, but the problem that your business is solving. What is keeping that person or that company, that persona, up at night? That should be keeping you up at night. You should be sweating just as much as they sweat, as much as they worry about the problem that they have. You need to do that too. That's part of your passion. So who is experiencing that problem that your product solves? Number two, what are the specific frustrations that your product can alleviate? So maybe the problem's really, really big that they have. Saving time, saving money, okay. But what specific nuances of that grand problem is your product focused on? Because it shouldn't be the whole thing. That's impossible. You'll never be able to build a solution that can solve every frustration that that problem entails. So you have to focus narrowly on those frustrations that you're going to help alleviate. And then how much is your audience willing to pay for that solution? What will the market actually bear? And sometimes you don't know until you test, but you can ask a lot of questions getting there in your research. So this is kind of part of that, defining your target market, defining your addressable market. All of this fits in there because once you start writing out those attributes of what does that company look like, maybe if it's your B2B, what does that company look like? You'd say like, okay, let's see, my buyers would be post-revenue startups who are in Austin, who are making $500,000 to $1 million a year, and they have a 50-person or less staff. That's my ideal customer profile. Then who's my buyer persona? Well, my buyer persona, let's say for me, for my fractional CMO business, would be the CEO or other people in the C-suite, the co-founders, whatever you want to have those titles be. And I would maybe say sometimes it could be an influencer in the buyer persona, might be a marketing coordinator or somebody that poor person has to report to the CEO, and the CEO is still running marketing. And so then I go, okay, great. What are the specific frustrations? Well, I could tell you that my marketing coordinator person's frustrated because the CEO is out trying to raise money, trying to run the company, trying to keep everything else going, and then just messing up everything in marketing all the time. And so they go, well, who can help steer the ship and who can help get the CEO out of the marketing weeds? Me. Cool, call Tim. So that's the specific frustration that I would solve for them. Or the CEO's like, I'm too busy. I'm trying to keep marketing going. I got to go to this conference. I'm speaking at this. I'm raising money, but I can't get all of these marketing systems to talk to each other. Can you help me out? Sure can. So that's kind of how I would define the company that I would work for. Again, B2B, and the buyer persona. For those of you in B2C, it's a little easier. You don't have that other layer, but you still have to think about these three bullet points here. And then we want to understand the competition. And I'm sure you guys probably have thought about this, or at least I hope you have. But there's some certain nuances to this that I'm hoping to kind of share throughout this presentation. So number one, who already offers something similar to your product or service feature? And I never want to hear, we're the only ones that do this thing. We're the all-in-one solution. We're the first. Are you the first? What, are you really? Maybe. Sure. But that would make you a unicorn then, right? And so some people should be throwing money at you left and right in order to accelerate your business. I'm not saying you're not special, but I'm just saying take a step back and think about, is there something else that's an alternative out there that people are doing that is worthwhile to them, that they're going to write a check for, that is similar to what you're doing? Maybe, maybe not. But you got to do some digging. What audiences are your competitors targeting? So that'll kind of help you too. That'll help you both understand who you should target, because maybe it's the exact same, or who you should be kind of sidelining and maybe targeting a little bit differently because maybe you serve them in a different way or your messaging is targeting a different buyer persona or something like that. So you can look at it from both sides of that coin. And then how does your product differentiate itself in the market? So there obviously are always going to be different feature sets. Oh, our button is green versus red. Our car is pink versus black. Right? What's the difference between Lyft and Uber? Is it like, does anybody know? I'm still looking for an answer on that. Feature-wise, it's a car. You push a button, a car shows up and takes you from point A to point B. But what they sell that's different, right, is their belief, their mindset, their experience, their ethos, the reason why they exist. Going all the way back to what I said before. You might believe what Uber believes and not what Lyft believes, or vice versa, and so you choose to go that way. Sometimes it's price. Sometimes. I know we all have both apps, and we're like, let me see. From the airport to downtown, oh, geez, it's like $10 less on Uber today for whatever reason. So how does your product differentiate itself? And then what does that market demand? So not only is it like, hey, how big is the potential market, but do they give a shit? Do they want to buy your thing? You could say, like, we have 50,000 potential businesses that would buy this piece of software today. Oh my God, I can't believe it. But sometimes they don't care. I've run into this a lot in B2B marketing throughout my days. Trying to put together a plan and you're just scratching your head and you're going, why are they not buying our tool? We're replacing all of these disparate spreadsheets and pieces of paper and these things. And then you go, oh, I know. Because they're 45 plus years old, they're adverse to change, they like their spreadsheets, and they don't want to learn a new tool. So they just don't care. So you have to convince them to care, and then you have to convince them to buy your tool, right? That's hard. And so the market that you go after, or where you measure the demand, is you want to go after the low-hanging fruit always first, and then try to work your way out. And then how saturated is that market? How many people are doing that? How many people are playing in that same space? It's just something to consider. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't, build a business in that area. But what I think it does point to is it's like, how can you do it different? And then it's going to make you really flex that muscle on how you're going to stand out. So I always look at that as a great pro when I'm building a marketing plan, because it's like, oh, well, I can easily then see all of the marketing that all of these different companies are doing, and I can figure out how I'm going to do it differently. But at the bottom line here, you're not that special. I know everyone wants to feel special. My startup is so special. We're the first ones to do this. We're the only one, but okay, that's cool. That's cool. And maybe you guys are that special at the end of the day, but you have to behave and humble yourself like you're not, and just serve the crap out of the people that you are trying to help, right? That problem that you're trying to solve. You just have to keep nailing that and nailing that and nailing that. And then you will be special, because the people who are going to tell you you're special are the people that are writing you a check, not your mom. So once you do that, now you got to nail down the product market fit. And a great way to do this is with a customer visualization exercise. And maybe you don't have customers, but you can test it maybe with some of the advisors that you have, or other counterparts, or even competitors or friends, different people within your market space. You can say, hey, why did you choose to buy our product? Why did you invest in me? Why are you an advisor of my company? And put a survey together and ask them very diligent, poignant questions that aren't just yes/no answers, but that are like written answers. The most important one is, obviously, at the end of the day, why did you buy our tool? And a great customer will say, oh, it's because it was the easiest to use. It was because it was the all-in-one platform. It was because you're so special. Maybe that's the reason. Second one is getting that MVP into people's hands. So we saw most people here at MVPs. I hope you guys are doing this already. I've talked to a lot of startups who are like, oh yeah, I've got my MVP. And I'm like, cool. How many people are playing with it? Just me and my team. What? No, who cares if it's a piece of junk? Get it into as many people's hands as possible, and then start asking them as many questions as you can about the product and about what they like about it and about what they would pay for it and if they would pay for it and what they think makes it better than the competition. This will start giving you a lot of the answers that then you can use in building out your marketing plan. So get that MVP in as many people's hands as possible. It could be, it could be your friends, whoever. Maybe it's a B2C platform that you have, but if it's B2B, it's okay to go knocking on some doors and give it away for free to some customers early on. And then once you go to activate it, you can say like, hey, I give you a free lifetime membership to my thing because I love you that much. And they're like, no, we'll pay you. And you're like, okay, that's cool. And then they'll advocate for you everywhere they possibly can. And then you want to iterate and improve on the product as fast as possible. I mean, you guys are all probably product geniuses in here, but what's great is that this creates an awesome stem for your marketing plan, because every time there's a new update for your product, that's something for marketing to talk about. That's a reason to post on social media. That's a press release, possibly. That's another thing you can pitch to a customer that you can test in the market and will make your product better and better and better and more special at the end of the day. So iterating on the product allows you then to iterate on the marketing too. And then keeping the product and message as simple as possible. Like I said, I've worked with a lot of platforms that are SaaS startups and working in the B2B space, and then sometimes this all-in-one thing gets a little crazy because they say I'm all in one, and then like I have this tool and that tool and this tool, and then this market likes that tool better than this tool, and that buyer really likes this, and we don't know how to message that or which one to lead with. We're going to try to land with this and expand with that, and you're like, holy shit, look at this web that you just created for yourself. Let's take a step back, wind it back a little bit, and focus that specific product that's solving that specific problem and develop a message that works with that, and go there first. Try that first before you overdevelop. I know it's like almost a founder's curse when you're building a tool or you're building a product, a company, and you're like, it's just not ready yet. It'll be ready for market next week. It'll be ready for market the week after that. It'll get there. It'll get there. You're gonna keep iterating on it, but if you never bring it to market with something that is simple and effective, then you're never gonna be able to test on it. And that's the important piece of building out this marketing, this go-to-marketing plan. And so your starter go-to-market. So, okay, now we've kind of figured out these pieces. What steps do we actually take then to put together a go-to-market plan? So number one, to figure out what level of product are you launching. So some of you guys are MVP. I saw some were growth. Some are mature already. Okay, great. So you're probably either launching it for the very, very first time. So it's like, hello world, we're here. Got to make a big splash. Or maybe we're just doing an iteration on a current product. All of those involve a different level of marketing. And I actually have a great go-to-market template. I'm happy to share that with you guys if you want to get in contact after this. That kind of lays out these different tiers of product releases and how much marketing should go toward different levels of the go-to-market. But you have to vary that, and obviously not bite off more than you can chew. And then identifying that target market for the go-to-market. So your go-to-market shouldn't be, again, for everybody. This go-to-market plan should usually be focused on one, maybe two audiences that you're trying to serve. Again, keeping it as simple as possible so you don't overdo it. So identifying the target market for the go-to-market plan itself. And then you want to obviously know that competition, product market fit. You've already done some of that work. So you're going to bring that into the go-to-market plan as a piece of that. Determine the key messaging and the positioning. So one of the things that I like to do is build this value matrix. And it's basically just a table. But what you do is you have on one side of the table, you list out maybe all the different personas that you're trying to sell into. You say like your C-suite and your director of sales and your whoever else. But hopefully it's just one or two. And then you go across there and you say, okay, what is the problem that they have? How does our tool then solve that problem? And then what message do we say to them, remembering our why and our purpose? What message do we say to them that could be used in like a social media post, in an advertisement, in a whatever? How do we then actually say those words? Which is a lot of times very difficult to think of. And so you have to take a step back, sometimes you have to rely on an advisor, an expert to help you with that. But if you lay it out in kind of this table format, I think it's really helpful, and it gives you then a singular place that your whole team can go to and look at and go, that's how I say this thing to this specific person if I meet them at a networking event, or if I develop an advertisement, this is how I do it. And then you want to create a kick-ass but simple sales and marketing strategy. Again, it doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to have a huge budget. It's just marketing is responsible for X, Y, and Z. We know our audience is really receptive to messages on LinkedIn. They like getting direct mail, maybe still. Sometimes that's effective. We meet them at a lot of networking events. Okay, that's what marketing is going to focus on. So then marketing needs to build those things for those key activities, and then enable the sales team. And then the sales team says, great, so when those things land in our lap, we know that marketing found this person on LinkedIn, so they're gonna come in through LinkedIn with this message, and we know that the problem is X, and then this is what we say to them to show them that they can trust us, and then ultimately that our tool or product is going to solve their problem. And so aligning those two things together, super important, and obviously since you guys are wearing many hats in here, a lot of these things kind of fall underneath your purview as kind of one designer of this, so you should be able to kind of pull it together nicely and neatly. And again, this doesn't have to be like a 50-page document. All of this can be done in like 2 pages in a Google Doc, so fairly simple. Now here's some questions that you guys can actually ask vendors. So I'm sure when you changed your LinkedIn profile to founder to CEO, all of a sudden you're getting 1 million people saying, do you need leads? We've got leads. It happens to me all the time, and it's super annoying. So there's 1 million vendors out there, and so the question is, okay, well, how do I evaluate my vendors that I'm going to bring in, whether that's a CRM or a marketing agency, a fractional CMO, whatever it might be. I've had to help a lot of my clients figure this out because, honestly, it can be tough when you come down the pike and you're looking at 2 that are so similar, and you have to figure out what makes them different because they didn't do a good job themselves of doing their marketing and saying what made them different. And so you really have to do your due diligence before you spend any money on anything, because the stuff can be expensive. So number 1, always ask for similar use case examples to yours. They might be like, here's a case study. Oh yeah, we worked with people in your space before. It's like this, and then you got to get them on the phone, and you got to say, or a Zoom call, and say, okay, that's great. Thank you for sending that case study. Thank you for sending that use case. We're planning on using your tool in this exact way. Do you have examples of that, or can you tell me how your tool or your solution is going to help us in this specific use case? Because maybe it's more nuanced, and that's totally okay. But you got to push them on it, really push them on it. Number 2 is get the references and additional case studies from them as much as possible. Review that, read that, call a reference if you have to. Find out if they worked with another startup like yours in the similar stage of business you're in. Like, evaluate these people as if you were about to hire someone on your team. You would ask for references, right? If you were hiring somebody, you're going to call that same reference. Don't waste your precious marketing dollars that you don't have when you're in these earlier stages of your business. And then you can always push them on pricing. When's the best time to buy a piece of software, guys? Does anyone know? It was last week. What happened last week? What happened today, besides April Fool's Day? It's the beginning of Q2. So all the sales reps last week are like, oh shit, my quota's short. What do I got to do? I got to make some deals. So wait till the end of the quarter, the end of the year, before you make a decision. You can always start talking to them maybe the month before. It's okay to string them along. They're used to it. And then they'll come back to you, and you can push a little harder on pricing. You just go, gosh, if you could just bring it down to $200 a month, I think we can make that happen. They go, let me talk to my boss. And you're like, okay, and just ice them, right? This is negotiating tactics 101. Then they'll come back and more likely meet you at a price that you need. End of the quarter, those sales reps need to hit their numbers. So push them on pricing at the end of the quarter. And then tap your network. This is one thing that I do a lot because there's so many tools out there. There's so many tools in the MarTech stack and the marketing world that I play in. There's over 20,000 marketing tools right now, and now with AI, there's like 50,000 more that just hit the market. I don't even have all the answers, so I a lot of times go to my Slack groups, I go to LinkedIn, and I ask friends and colleagues and people I trust, and I say, hey, does anyone have a tool for X? I'm looking for a recommendation. And some of the best tools that I find actually just come from tapping my network and just asking people on boards and in Slack groups or in places like this, hey, what's the best tool? And you know what is interesting about that? That's the most powerful form of marketing, isn't it? The referral marketing. So you guys need to do a really good job of networking, and again, getting your solutions and your tools in people's hands and wowing them and making sure it's awesome. And then they're going to refer you when someone like me comes and says, hey, Suman, do you have a tool that does blah, blah, blah? And he goes, actually, yeah, this guy has that. Awesome. Cool. He recommended you and I trust him. So this is the best way to do it. So tap that network for yourselves, but also figure out how to get your solution in the networks. And so now hiring talent. So someone was talking about that a minute ago. He said, if you're looking to hire people, here's some great resources. There's a lot of great resources out there, but the last place you want to go to initially is just posting on LinkedIn or on Indeed. There's a lot of places to go. So we'll talk about that in a second. So the first thing you want to do is you want to look for starters who can wear many hats and do that comfortably. You're doing it. You're starting a business. You have a million hats you got to wear. You got to put this whole go-to-market thing together that Tim just told you about. Holy shit, that's a lot to do. You need people who have the same starter type of mindset. And this is a lot of what I preach and what I talk about, and actually what my book is about, is how marketers themselves can think like entrepreneurs in order to be more attractive to entrepreneurs and founders and starters and flex that superpower that you guys have. You can find people that share that same type of mentality with you, and they're the best people to have on your team because they hustle, they get more done with less, they advocate, they believe, they're working long, crazy hours, and they're getting up and doing it again and over and over and over. Those are the kind of people you want to bring on your team, especially initially, right? You can start, as you start to get bigger and bigger, you can look for more siloed people over time, but you need other starters, people who have that entrepreneurial drive. Maybe they envision themselves starting something. You're like, great, I just need you here for a year to help me get this off the ground, and then I'll help you get your thing off the ground. Those are the kind of people you want working for you. And those first hires should match the greatest need in marketing. So people always say to me, like, okay, well, who should I hire first? Should it be a content marketer? Should it be a social media person? Should I hire an ad person? It goes back to that go-to-market plan and understanding what the marketing need is. If you do this due diligence and you say to me, Tim, we figured out that the best place to reach our B2B audience is on LinkedIn and with great content, and that's where we need to invest our time and our marketing money, who should I hire? And I would go, well, someone who's good at LinkedIn and developing content and being able to share that on there. That should be your first marketing hire. Don't go hire a CMO. Don't go hire a social media person. Don't go hire an AI marketing specialist, even though that looks really cool. Hire them based on the greatest marketing need that your company has. And then tap your network first. Again, so we're going back to the network. Does anyone have anyone who could do X, Y, and Z? Maybe it's on contract, even at first. But does anyone have anybody? Could you recommend anyone? And as sad as this sounds, marketers are turned over all the time. It's like literally the worst job to have in tech. I've been laid off 6 times in my career, guys, and doing marketing for 20 years. 6 times. That's a terrible tenure. Why did I pick marketing and tech? It was so dumb. If I could go back and do it again, it would 100% be pharmaceuticals. Sales guys, they just forever. Medical device sales, that would have been it. Go back to the younger Tim. Tap your network first, then broaden it. So don't first go post it to LinkedIn. You're going to get 1,000 applicants with 1,000 unqualified people. Like, that's just a huge waste of your time. You don't have time to waste. So the first place to go for this stuff is always going to be your network. And just take a moment to think about this stuff. These 3 bullets here, that's all you need, really, to start your job description, to start your job search. I'm looking for someone who is comfortable wearing many hats in a dynamically changing environment. Maybe you want to start your own business someday, but you're looking to get your start. Come work for our company, right? I need this content marketing person who embodies that. Oh, hey, Joe Schmo, do you know anybody who fits this? Actually, yeah. Sally down the street. Perfect. Put me in contact with her. Boom, done. Like, it should be that easy. Hopefully it will be. So then when? So start with contractors as much as possible. I know it's like fun to, I have an employee. I have 10 people on my staff. W-2s mean employer taxes. And like, you don't need that expense too. You don't need those things. Start with contractors. There's so many great resources. I couldn't tell you how many people I've personally hired for my businesses on Upwork. I found this awesome dude in Pakistan to build me lead lists for like $5 an hour, and I gave him a budget of like $50 a week. And he's built me like all of these lists. And I think I've maybe spent like $500 with him in total. And I've landed about 10 different speaking gigs worth like 5,000 plus from him. Like, whoa, how about that ROI, right? Contractor, did it through Upwork, didn't have to worry about even writing the contract. Super, super easy, super, super lightweight. But even if you want to bring a contractor on yourself, just 1099 them. Do that as much as possible. You can always convert them into a full-time employee if they're interested and when you're ready. Number 2, when the projects demand more than the vendors or contractors can give. So once your business starts to scale and you start to hit that growth stage, you're like, shoot, I have this contractor for 5 hours a week who handles that LinkedIn content and developing our blog writing, but I need them for more. Like, our audience is hungry for more content. Okay, now it's time maybe I go out and hire somebody. So once the vendor or the contractor just can't give you enough anymore, and you'll start to feel that heat. Once they can't attend to your needs as much, you're like, oh, you have this agency and you have an agency call check-in and it's 1 hour every other week. And they're like, oh yeah, your ads are doing fine. And you're like, but they don't feel like they're doing fine. Look at our metrics. No, it's just more money. Just throw more money at it. Beware of that, by the way, marketing agencies. If we just put more money, it'll be fine. Yeah, okay. Then call me and I'll talk to them for you. So once they can't do what you need them to do, that's when you start looking at externally to bring someone in. And then going back to my marketing story of being laid off six times in my career, only hire people when you can actually afford them and pay them what they're worth, people. Again, it's great to have an employee, but if you can't securely say, I can pay this person's wage for 1 year, don't hire them. Because it'll look like shit if you just keep hiring people and then laying them off every 6 weeks. Your Glassdoor will be terrible. People are not going to want to work for you. And you're just going to almost be not unemployable, but unemployed. Like, people aren't going to want to work for you, bottom line, if you do that. So 12 months of runway. Again, you're going to look at your business. You know your business better than anybody else. Can I afford this content marketing person for 1 year? Do I have that in the bucket? Did I raise enough money for that? Do we have enough revenue coming in where I can support that? Cool. And then all these other things that we talked about, yes, I feel comfortable in hiring this person now. I've been part of that bloat hire even with like Series D companies. And I'm like, really? You guys just raised $100 million more. And you cut me? Okay, cool. Like, and I don't know, it just keeps happening to me. I'm bad luck. I'm unemployable, so that's a totally different story. We won't go down that road. That's why I do this fractional CMO thing. I'm talking to you guys. So what should you measure when you're looking at building out your marketing, your starter marketing plan? Number 1 is your ROMI. So that's your return on your marketing investment. So not just your return on your investment, but how much is marketing actually producing? So that's your revenue divided by spend times 100%. Obviously, easy ROI math. But the way to look at that is to actually say, hey, marketing nowadays isn't just about running a beautiful ad in a magazine like in the Mad Men days from that TV show, right? Like, it's not just branding. We actually have the metrics to track campaigns and look back and see what revenue marketing is actually responsible for driving. So this is important for you guys as founders and CEOs to understand, like, that marketing can be held accountable to some of these metrics. And so you say, what is our return on marketing investment? So I invested in you. We spent $1,000 on a LinkedIn ad campaign, and we went to this event, and it cost us $5,000 to have a booth there, and plus the travel and whatever else. Maybe it was local. Okay, so all in for this campaign, we spent $7,000, let's say. Did we bring in our pipeline that we can attribute back to that specific campaign? Did we bring in $7,000 of potential revenue? And then over time, what closed? So you want to set up a attribution modeling. That's like a little nerdy, but you want your CRM, you want to try to be able to track those things back to specific points. And your marketing help that you bring in needs to be able to set that up and be able to report on that for you. And then your reach, which is your impressions divided by your frequency, sure. But the reach, I believe, is actually much more than that. It's how many ears did you hear? How many eyeballs did you get? And one of the things that I look to this figure a lot is your PR activity. Sometimes you can actually take reach share away from a competitor by how many times like a news article is picked up and shared, and like your press release that you put out. You could be like, whoa, at the beginning of this, and you could have like a PR person run this for you. At the beginning of this, our competitor had like 70% share of voice is what they call it. They had 70%. Oh, and now we have that. It flipped because we were just so good at putting out content, putting out press releases, and just being on our marketing game, and we've taken that back from them. So that's a good one to look at. Engagement's another good one to look at. Oftentimes, some marketers will say, hey, this is kind of a vanity metric. What does engagement even mean? It's definitely more focused on a brand building activity, but when you're getting started, that's okay, because you just want people to know your name. They want to say, oh yeah, I've heard of that. You want to be part of the consideration funnel for them. So engagement is a good one to look at. Your funnel stages and your conversion. So at the very, very top, you have your leads, then you have your marketing qualified leads, and your sales qualified leads. Then you actually have your opportunities, and then your closed won, right? And your funnel looks like this. And so you want to look at what's happening at the top, how much is filling in, what's coming out the bottom, and then how are those conversion rates looking, and doing different things within the business related to the marketing itself or the sales conversations, filling the top, seeing what shakes out at the bottom, knowing all those conversion stages across the funnel is an important one for you. And then forgetting the vanity metrics like likes and follows and shares and all that BS. Because you could have 1 million people that like your Instagram page, but if none of them actually write you a check, who cares? So don't report on that, and don't let your marketing person report on that. Unless they're the social media person, then it's like that's kind of one of their KPIs. But if you have a person who's in charge of your overall marketing, if they come to you and say, oh yeah, well we got 10,000 new followers, and you go, okay, yeah, tell me about my return on marketing investment, please. That's what I care about. Where is the money coming from? Is it coming from marketing? Because you're responsible for X percentage of the new business that we win, not for likes and new follows. That's great though. That's cool. Show me the money, right? At the end of the day. So how much budget? 8 to 12% of your revenue goals is kind of a typical ballpark marketing budget. How much money in revenue do you anticipate making this year? $10,000, $100,000, $1 million? 8 to 10% of that is kind of what you can ballpark to say this should be our marketing spend in order to achieve that. Again, very rudimentary, but it's a place to start. It's going to vary by business. It's going to vary by the cost of the channel that's most effective with the customers you're trying to reach. Again, maybe your audience hates LinkedIn ads, but they're really, really keen on search, on actually searching for keywords. Now you got to go out and bid a bunch of keywords, and that can be super, super expensive. So maybe your budget is slightly bigger or small. It all depends, but that's kind of a good ballpark for you guys to notate. So when you're looking to hire a marketing executive, you could say, hey, 8 to 12%, that's kind of what we're budgeting. What do you think? And then see what they say. Otherwise, it's as much as you can and comfortably afford. So if you're like, well, 8%, oh my God, no, like we have a very, very lean business model. Our margins are super small. Okay, I get it. What can you afford and devote to your marketing engine? And then you want spend that is, again, is best fit for your target market and your industry. There's a lot of industry benchmarks out there. There's a lot of easy articles that you can find to see what are the industry benchmarks for this in marketing and the budget in B2B software. And again, I keep saying that because that's mostly what I work in. HubSpot will have articles. There'll be a million articles of different people that say different things, and then kind of help you pull that together. So then, I'm sure you guys are probably wondering, is that all? Yeah, that's it. No, of course not. Now you got to leave here. You got to get started. There's so much more. There's a lot of detail. I tried to keep this as high level and valuable for you guys. So hopefully you're able to get something out of it. I'm happy to share this deck with you afterward as well. there is a lot of room for you guys to start exploring. But the thing that I always try to remind founders is that just like how you're reinventing or coming up with a solution to a problem, you have to do that for your marketing too. It's never going to be perfect the first time, but you got to start doing something. You got to invest some time and some effort into it, and finding that market for it is the place that you start. So I'm doing free, I'll give you guys a free 30-minute consult. We'll do a Zoom call if anybody wants to scan that QR code, and then fill out the form. I'll reply to you guys later, and we can set up a time. But I'll do a free 30-minute consult for all you guys because I love you so much, and I have so much free time. So I will do a 30-minute consult for you guys. We'll take a look at your marketing. You come to me. We'll have a little meeting and tell me where you guys are at, your biggest marketing challenge, and I can maybe help point you guys in the right direction. And then obviously would love to continue to connect with you wherever we possibly can. And I'm around until the end of the event. Would love to talk to you. Again, I have my books over here if anyone's interested in purchasing one. Otherwise, you come grab a card, hang out, tell me about what you guys got going on in marketing, and yeah, would love to continue network. So I'm on LinkedIn. I'm all over the place, but yeah, we will stay connected. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, and then we can do any Q&A if you guys have any questions.
First of all, Tim, thank you very much for sharing your experience and your knowledge. My name is Dickens Allberg. So as a 45-year-old and over that has gotten used to a hole in my head, right, and not, changing my ways, if it's not a one-off or an anomaly where you have a potential buyer that doesn't want to change, it's a real problem, but they don't see it as a problem, does that mean you're identifying the wrong problem? And so when you're trying to go to market, you should be looking at something else. I don't know if that question.
By the way, you look great for 45. Because I'm 41 and I look hell older than you. Okay, so 45 plus. Oh, okay, all right. So he's 86. So the question was, if you're going after a market and they just don't want to budge, are you just barking up the wrong tree? Is that?
Right. Well, it's a change management, right? It is a problem, but most of the people you're talking to say, I don't want to do that. They don't want to invest in that. Does that mean that you're trying to solve the wrong problem and go back to square one to see if you're missing a true problem?
So I wouldn't necessarily say you can go back to square one. That's where you can also kind of pivot to maybe a different buyer persona. So maybe who might care about that, maybe at a different level that can influence that person. So one of the things that I always look at when I'm building out a buyer persona is, I write the list of attributes of who they are, but then I also just do a little like bubble map. I'll like put my person in the center, and then I'll just draw lines out with other bubbles of who I know and who I think has influence over them in their role, and also who has power to help them make that buying decision. And sometimes these people have internal customers that they have to deal with. They might be buying your thing and utilizing your thing because they have to make someone else happy. So maybe you go to that person and you say, hey, doesn't it suck the way your person here uses spreadsheets to do this thing for you? And they're like, yeah, it does. Okay, you should tell them about my tool. Right, so you could start looking at maybe on the fringes and see who can influence that person, and you could build a campaign around that. And I've had to do that in when I worked for my last CMO gig. I was working for a corporate travel management company. They are travel agents, and they have an online booking tool. We've all used Expedia and Google Flights. This is for business travelers. And their person that they went after was a corporate travel manager who is a 45-plus suburban mom who hates change, and it had that exact same type of problem. So where did we go? We kind of went after the finance people, because the finance people cared about the numbers and the savings and what is the problem that you're actually solving, and think about how you can tailor that message maybe to someone on the fringe to get that person to influence back to the buyer. Yep.
Awesome, thanks. So I'm building kind of like a marketplace for the first time, and I'm trying to get a sense. So there's the service providers and there's the clients, right? And the demand is definitely there on the client side or on like the customer side. The interest on the service provider side is like questionable slash maybe just like, at least as I'm starting this process, seems like my intuition is that it's going to be more work to build up that side of the marketplace. Are there best practices that you know of when marketing, like specifically for like two-sided marketplaces? Is it more important to just go for the demand side and then the service providers, the supply side, like just naturally comes along? Or is it important to like separately focus on the two, or is it more important to solve the supply side?
So my question to you is, why would you ever start a two-sided marketplace? It's crazy. Okay, it's very niche. It's very special. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, wow, that is really unique. Okay, so super hyper niche. So that actually makes it a little easier. So as opposed to like, I'm starting another eBay. Everything for everyone. Okay, so that's good. Stay within your niche, love it. So yeah, the first thing to do is your assumption is correct. From my experience, is building the market demand first, because the people that ultimately you have to make the happiest are the service providers, and they're not going to be happy unless there's people that are wanting to buy through you and buy from them, right? So you're doing it right by starting with having hungry mouths there, because those people are going to be less upset if they don't find what they need. The service provider will be more upset if they signed up with you and maybe paid a subscription and they're like, what the hell, you don't even have anyone here to buy from me. This sucks, I'm out, right? They will be more upset. They'll be less forgiving. So I would definitely start with building that side, and then it's easy to go to them and go, we have 100,000 expected parents on our platform. Why would you not want to list here? And they go, oh, wow, I didn't realize you had that many. So yeah, it's a little bit of chicken egg, but usually with a two-sided, you always start with the buyer market first.
Yeah, thank you. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Can I ask a super quick follow-up?
Sure.
I know you said like launch MVP, but my one kind of concern with launching an MVP is with the service side. I worry that the way I think of it, right, is like each of them is like a node in a network. And if their experience as a service provider isn't at some level, they won't reach out to more service providers, or they won't like latch on and like, you know what I mean? Like they'll get turned off, basically.
Yeah.
Or even on the demand side, like if it's not at some level. So like, how do you know you've crossed the threshold where your product is good enough to where you're not going to create a negative network effect?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. No. Again, a problem with a two-sided marketplace that's tough to figure out. My advice to that would be find MVP people carefully. Don't just open it up for anyone. Like find ones that you maybe have a relationship with, ones that you trust, maybe ones that an advisor knows that will tread lightly with you. Ones that are even more forgiving of the forgiving ones. Like find ones that you're like, hey, I'm just starting out, I'm a startup, like it's not perfect yet. I would love to get you in there and testing it. It's all about how you kind of frame it. And you almost like pitch it as like, I need you to help me. I'm going to give it to you for free. I'll give you, remember I said before, I'll give you a year for free once it's active, or a forever free. Like there's different levers that you can kind of play to negotiate with them to get them on your side. I'm hoping maybe you have some domain expertise in this space, but if you don't, that's okay. Then you need to go find advisors who do, and then who can maybe bring in that vendor, that kind vendor that will help you kind of make this happen with kid gloves. That's what I would do.
Going off his example, like let's say he doesn't have any advisors, anything else, would the next advisor
Get them.
start a lead page, do ad spend, and get some like emails going, and then do some like cold emails to see like who your first person would be.
Well, yeah, but he's just worried about that cannibalization and the negative network effect. And if he's like super, super worried about that, I would be cautious on running something public. And if you're like, oh, I don't have an advisor, you get one. Get one that knows, like you shouldn't be the only person pretending to have a domain expertise in your business. You got to find an advisor who knows that side of the marketplace that can help you. Ask around, go to networking events, conferences, find somebody who can help you out with that. So I would say don't be like don't be okay with not knowing somebody, not having an advisor. One more.
So I have a startup. We have 100,000 users.
Congratulations.
Couple of millions of dollars. However, with your presentation, I just realized my marketing team, I built it with intent. They just intend, I mean, the person, because I have a strong media background, but now we're trying to get to the next level, but we are struggling because going beyond the 100,000, it's a bit of challenge. So how do I find the right person to transition the entire thing from just the intent?
You're saying intent, right? Yeah.
So
Yeah.
about intent. I mean, your presentation really revealed my problem right now, which was
That's good. Yay.
something I've been struggling with. How do you think I would get the right person to hire at the moment?
I feel like maybe we should talk about that one. Did you scan the thing? Okay, let's talk about that because I'd like to learn a little bit more about the nuance of like what you've already done in marketing and like why, like some more maybe why you're plateauing. I think it's kind of maybe a longer conversation.
And also one of my challenges, because I understand marketing, it's very difficult to get someone that
I get it. Difficult to guess. And a lot of it is guessing and testing. But yeah, I'm happy to talk to you. That'd be great. Yeah, cool. All right, guys. While I'm around, I'll be around here. Oh, okay. We have time for one more. Okay. All right. You're gonna let him do it. He's special. That's why.
Congratulations for your first client. So, yeah. So I have a wedding business, and I think wedding for brides. So, oh really? Yes. Congratulations for your second client. Congratulations for your second client. So, $100 per client. That's what I'm thinking for my business. Launching now, $1 per client versus $1,000 or $10,000 per client. What would you suggest? Just launching.
So the question is, how much should you spend per client on your marketing?
No, my pricing.
Oh, your pricing.
Should I keep it so high?
Oh, like you're trying to create like this, like yeah, you're doing the Chanel thing. God, my wife, I just bought her a Chanel purse for her birthday. Oh my God! Why? It's just like they're probably they're like we're trying to create exclusivity.
Just to start, but after 1 year, it's going to be $100 annually.
Well, so again, what problem are you solving and who are you solving it for? So I'm solving whatever in the wedding industry, and then who is that buyer? And if you're like my buyer is high class Westlake Hills wedding goers, then yeah, set a higher price. And you want to be at that price point where you're competing with people in the world you want to compete with. And so that's where then you would go again and go look at what I said before, which is what comparable services and pricing are competitors offering? Can you play in that market? And if you're saying we're a luxury wedding facilitator, then a luxury wedding facilitator will charge X, Y, and Z, and that's where you'll set your pricing. So you got to look and see what your competitors are doing in that space that are luxury. So I wouldn't start low in like regular weddings, budget weddings, like for me, budget weddings, and then work your way up. If you're gonna go, if that's like the ultimate goal, you should focus again, like how he's doing, on that niche and just hammer down on that. But then obviously deliver a great product that's worth the money.
Or start with $1 and get thousands of users. And
Sorry, it's a platform or is it a service? Oh, okay. Well,
that's the question.
did you scan the thing? We should talk to. Okay. Very nuanced. Okay, go ahead, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the networking part.
All right. Thank you, Tim. And who knew so many things with their marketing to even think about, right? So, 10-year-old. I mean, myself 10 years back would be thinking, why do I even need marketers? I mean, what do they do all day? I mean, But you only know the worth of marketing once you start a company, right? I mean, when you don't get customers and you're wondering like, why am I not getting customers? How do I get more customers? That's when you really know the worth. So yeah, I mean, I know all of you probably have a lot of things to think about. I mean, after the session tonight. So, but we'll also do a little fun exercise, before we go back to our home and have our dinners and go to sleep. I do see a few people here that have come here to the prior events. I know they've launched their products recently, so I want to initially just bring a couple of them so they can talk about like the launch experience and things like that, and or maybe just talk a few words about their product so you all can know about it. And keeping in tune with the theme tonight about marketing, they can probably say one or two words about what they did for marketing their app or product or service, and one thing that stands out in their marketing process, whether they loved it, they hated it, or they like to improve, maybe just to let the other people know. And then once we have those 2 or 3 people here, we can just go around the room for anyone that wants to talk about their products or services. Just think of it as a lightning pitch. We can just go to everyone in the room that wants to just come here and just say 3 minutes per pitch. Okay, so I know there's Checkmate over there. So do you want to come and give a quick pitch about your product and then some note about your marketing strategy?
Hi, everybody. My name's Charlie, and I'll tell you about the app, but we can talk about marketing since you're here for that. But my app is called Checkmate. It's a user-to-user post-connection rating app. Think of Checkmate as an Amazon rating, but for people. Checkmate is good for identifying your catfishers, your gaslighters, but more importantly, it's about safety. So it's a user-to-user post-connection rating app. We have launched probably 3 times. We've had probably 7 betas. It's taken me a good while to figure out how to market my app because it needs 2 people. The most important sector that we'll go for, the age group, is 18 to 24. 18 to 24 don't think they need a safety app. However, there's the highest chance of women being sexually assaulted. The problem I'm solving is sexual assault against women. So having said that, I'll tell you, there's truth to the how much money you waste on your marketing. When I started out, I've wasted probably $20,000, $30,000 easily. I started too early in marketing before I started figuring out who I was going to go for. Long time ago when I started the app, it was for exactly the market I'm going for. However, I tried to go to like a B2C, and I think I'm at a B2B, even though it's a C. We're going through Greek organizations to use them to do force marketing by a Greek safety program that we've created for them. So having said that, I've tried commercials. I've tried I did the branding. That's extremely expensive. When you go to these marketing agencies, the branding's a big, hefty price. If you already had your website, then you have to go back and change your branding on your website. That's another chunk of change. So there's a ton of money that you don't know about yet that you're going to face those dilemmas. If you have a great strategy, then you're good to go. But that strategy is going to always be changed, and it takes you a while to figure out that you probably need a strategy to avoid what I had to go through. So just straight up, it costs a lot of money. If you have not started your app yet, I challenge you to put it away and don't do it and get a regular job because you are going to go to bed every night thinking about your app. But if you have the idea that you want to change the world, that you can change the world, then by golly, you're going to have to build it or fail doing it so that you can sleep at night.
Thank you, Charlie. And that's Checkmate. Is it Check M-A-T or CHKM8.app? Is that CHKM8?
Yeah, CHKM as in Michael and then the number 8.
8. Okay, so .app, and it's also on app stores. So yeah. All right. So one thing, again, keeping in theme in the theme of the meetup and what we do here, always support your local fellow founders. So when you hear about their apps or products or services, I'd encourage you all to download them or check them out. And if you like the app, use it and also spread the word. If you don't like the app, go to the founder and tell them why you didn't like it, and maybe they can improve it. So feedback is really crucial and essential for early stage founders. So and if you also like the app, or if it's not for you but you think someone in your network might be using that app, just spread the word into your networks as well. And with that said, I know there's one more person that launched their product or service, our resident Transylvanian.
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing, lovely people? Hi. My name is Florian. Thank you, Suman. Appreciate it. I did not expect this, so I did not came prepared. But last week we've launched our MVP. Appreciate it. It's a advertising platform for users and for companies, of course. The problem that we're solving is irrelevant ads in the market, as well as one-to-one attribution that is going away after Google removes cookies. But without going into too much nitty-gritty details, what we're offering is an alternative for the existing advertising interface where people are the product, and with Fair Ads, which is the name of my product, you will be in the driver's seat and you will make 51% of what the company makes. That's me. We're currently only live on Android. And speaking of people in old age, I'm 740 years old. So just say that blood from Transylvania helps a lot. Thank you, Suman. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Florian. And that's Fair Ads, right? So that's Fair Ads. Yep. Awesome. So do check it out. And then what we'll do is, I know there's one more person that runs some Meetup, so I want him to give a shout out. And then what we'll do is we'll go through the room and do a, don't be shy, just come here. And even if you don't have your app launched or things like that, just come and speak out. I mean, we are a friendly bunch. We won't say mean things. So yeah, just come and pitch your idea or startup. So yeah.
Hi everyone, my name's Chris. So yeah, I run 2 meetups here at Capital Factory. I have sort of catered to that market of digital nomads. So who here works from their laptop or phone? Right. Yep. That's pretty much everybody now. And so I noticed that here in Texas, there was nobody really catering to that market of people who were digital nomads, people who were very remote, people who work remote. Some of you probably work for companies that don't care where you work. And so I put together a program here at Capital Factory about that lifestyle, where you can come in, learn about like how to deal with your insurance, how to deal with your taxes when you travel around the world, how to deal with like travel logistics altogether. So my program has been running since about November, and it's a lot of fun because a lot of people come in with all kinds of questions about like, hey, if I go here, what happens to my taxes? Hey, if I do this, what happens to my insurance? And so we cover all those things. And so this program meets every 3rd Monday of the month. And so we're on the 5th floor. So if you want to be a part of that digital nomad lifestyle, or you're already at it and you want to meet other people who do it, come on by. And then I run another one. It's the rising trend of one-person businesses. And so there was an author who wrote a book, $1 Million One-Person Businesses. If you've ever read that book by Elaine, she actually was a business researcher, and she was looking for a city with a lot of solopreneurs. And she discovered out of all the cities that Austin had one of the highest concentration of solopreneurs. And so she wrote the book, and that's sort of how I base the course off of. So if you're looking to work with other solopreneurs who don't travel but want to run their own one-person business, you should come check that one out. That one's every 4th Monday at 6:30 on the 5th floor as well. So my name is Chris, and if you have any questions, come by, talk to me later, and I'll let you know more about the program. But thanks so much.
Chris? Now, what we'll do is, like as I said, we'll do a round of lightning pitches, and we'll just sweep the room, from my right to left, and we'll pick one from my right, one from the middle, one from the left, and then we'll again come around and see who wants to just come in, do a quick pitch. Anyone here that wants to do a quick pitch of their? Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Thanks. Hi, I'm Sam, focused on BitMind We do three things. We provide visibility or transparency into 1, processing, 2, network, and 3, energy. So naturally, oh no photos right now, please. I'm looking for 3 things. Engineers in front end, engineers in cybersecurity, and anyone mining. So if you're mining, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. And yep.
Hey guys, my name is Anna. I am the co-founder and CEO of Sensate. Sensate helps neurodivergent and anxious professionals fidget discreetly in the workspace. And I've been looking at all of y'all, and all of y'all basically fidget. It's a very common entrepreneurial thing that we all have. You tap your feet, you click your pen, you're messing around on your keyboard. We want to help adults be able to fidget discreetly in the workspace, make it professional, make it cool. Our goal is to create tools that attach to everyday objects you use every day. So your laptop, your phone, your Apple Pen, your keychain, your wallets. We just want to create these attachable fidget tools that work with those. They look professional and they fit your needs, because as you grow up, the neurodivergence doesn't go away. We just learn ways to hide it and mask it. So open to any questions. We're looking for any engineers that are comfortable with CAD, people to help us market. I'm a freshman in college. I started this in high school. My co-founder, she just joined the team in January. She's also at UT. So any mentors as well, any help is very appreciated. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Less fidgeting and more focusing. So anyone from here? Oh, yeah.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Riley Stevens, and I love to party. And is there anyone in here who also enjoys partying at all? Oh, hell yeah. So, and does anybody like art? Oh yeah, like creativity. So I have a startup called Art Party, and basically you just go create art and have a party. So you drink, you might get high, that's up to you. But we all throw paint at a canvas, and unfortunately I have to wear clothes. I love running around naked, but I have to wear clothes for your sake and for mine. And so we take those paintings and turn them into clothing, so you get to wear your memories. Would anyone like to wear a memory? Okay, would you like to party? All right, come on.
Hi. Awesome. Anyone from there? Oh, yep.
Thank you. Probably not a startup. I come from accumulaternetwork.io. That's a blockchain company based in Austin. We want all startups here to come and join us. We will give you free promotion, worldwide marketing, lot of marketing across the world. All you need to do is come to us. We will hook you into our blockchain. You heard about Ethereum. This is an Ethereum replacement. All the tech products who want to onboard your technology into blockchain and get huge marketing from the crypto world, talk to me. We give you free developers, free programmers, free marketing, anything that you want to enable you to come into our blockchain. We'll even fund your project if it is legitimate and friendly with us. Thank you. accumulaternetwork.io.
Thank you. And yeah, we'll again come from here. So yeah, this.
So I'm from Thailand, and I'm wondering if any of you have traveled to Thailand. Anybody? Awesome. Anybody who would like to travel to Thailand? Awesome. Okay, so this is my idea, and imagine you're walking in the streets of Bangkok. You're alone. It's dark. You don't know where you are, and you have to use the bathroom. How are you going to ask to go to the bathroom in Thai? Well, good thing I'm here, because I'm going to teach you in 4 syllables how to ask how to go to the bathroom. All right, you're going to say it with me, y'all. Hong Nam, Yu Nai. Hong Nam, Yu Nai. You now know how to say where's the bathroom? Congratulations. So my idea is to launch an app that will teach you the essential survival phrases of the country that you want to travel to, starting with Thailand. So remember that, Hong Nam Yunai. All right, my name's Theo. Thank you very much. My app is going to be called Survival Phrases.
Wonderful, thank you. Anyone from here that wants to? Oh, there's one.
Hello, hello. My name is Damien Langordia, and I am building out a mobile application for artists. I'm essentially building out a booking and community platform for artists to help get them booked and also create a space where they can convene. It's essentially going to start with musicians at first. I myself booked artists for about 1.5 years. I know the difficulty of what it means to be an artist and still want to do business. It quite literally is impossible. If you give an artist business, it kind of just frees up, and it's too much task for one person to handle everything at once. So really just trying to mitigate everything and really trying to simplify their lives. Give back to people who've given us so much. So, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so anyone from here? Oh, there's one person.
Hey, how's it going? Howdy. My name is Watson. I was just peer pressure to come up here and say hi. But I've got a company called Arthur Labs. We essentially build systems, Web 2 and Web 3, that help entrepreneurs around the world build businesses. So we essentially reduce the time it takes for people to create general two-sided marketplaces. Whoever that guy was, goodbye, respectfully. But yeah, we try and help people who have ideas just be able to expand on it real quick. We help them accelerate the development time. And then we help them bring it to market. And then through that, we also provide marketing tools and equipment that helps people who use these marketplaces or use whoever's selling on these marketplaces also be able to, like spread the content much easier. We find people who are using other people's marketplaces. We provide them like tools and infrastructure to help them onboard to our clients' marketplaces. Other stuff kind of also consists of collaborating with a photography agency. And Accumulate, we might eventually come say hi. We might need the development. So yeah, we just build systems. Appreciate it.
Right. Thank you. Lastly, do we have anyone from here? Oh.
Hi, everybody. My name is Michael. I own a business called Friendom, and I like to help people make friends and be better friends to themselves. I have noticed since the start of the lockdowns and the pandemic that people's skills to interact with others and connect with their spaces have regressed, to put it lightly. We are noticing a lot of the generation coming into the workforce or even coming into the universities struggling to understand who they are and how best to communicate themselves. So I'm starting with friend coaching, one-on-one. I'm going to be putting out events here in Austin to teach exercises and to make games to help people understand what is it that they need, how to communicate those needs, and be better friends to themselves within those spaces as they're connecting with the people near. So that's my business. That's where I'm trying to go towards. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Awesome, founders and great ideas, and that's what I like about all the people that come here. They all come with great energy and great ideas. And so, any product or service or app that you have heard about here, just try them out and spread the word. And if you liked it or didn't like it, give the feedback to those founders that have talked about those things. So again, one last thing before we close the session today is we all come to we all go to events with something in mind. I mean, we want to get something out of the events that we go to. Either it could be learning or networking or anything tangible also. But as event organizer, I can only provide so much. So the one thing that I can guarantee, whether you like the events that we host or whether you get something out of the events that we host or not, is you can find other people that have come here to this event that you have not seen before or met before. So one thing I always encourage is the one thing you can always guaranteed go away from this meetup event will be a new connection, which is stress-free, free of cost. So before you go out of the room today, just look at the other people that have come here. Pick one person, just make a new connection, and start those conversations. And even beyond this event, have those conversations flowing. Maybe you'll find your next co-founder here. Maybe you'll find a good teammate here, or someone that you can get some advice from or give advice to. So, with that said, thank you all for coming today, and I really am honored, and it was a pleasure hosting all of you. And thank you, Tim, for the wonderful session. And you all have a wonderful rest of the month. Thank you.